How did you see industry therefore evolving with all such challenges that happen over the years?
That I work with best of the architects. Now is the time and opportunity for me from river to get merged into the ocean. And as we say, roti, kapda and makan, these are the basic necessities. And like I mentioned, when you have your mind open like an umbrella, everything is a rainbow. You will see beautiful colors. But if you see things in, dark shades, then no one can help you. Because when this responsible position was offered to me, I was, to be really honest, so scared. I thought to myself, maybe I'm not ready. Very renowned universities and institutions have approached NAREDCO to start the real estate courses. There are three things which I realized that I'm really good at. One, disaster management. When a woman supports a woman, magic happens. We may say that I stay in so-and-so makan number, so-and-so gali, so-and-so mohalla, but eventually you stay in this body.
Correct.
This body is your real estate.
Hello and welcome to MB Dialogues on MBTV, world's largest real estate online platform. In MB Dialogue, we bring to you the movers and shakers of real estate industry, people who matter, people who are defining the present and the future of this industry, and therefore how you and I live our lives, how cities shape up, how environment around us shapes up. Our today's guest is a very special one indeed. To begin with, the guest is a she. It's not often that when you're sitting across the table in this industry, you get a lot of women leaders coming and sharing their perspective, their point of views, their ideas along. Today's guest is a visionary leader. She has been a TEDx speaker. She has done a lot. She is currently serving as Additional Director General at NAREDCO, the National Real Estate Development Council, which works under the aegis of Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Ministry of India. She also runs a wellness platform of her own called Sattva Nation. Throughout her career, she has been doing things which has been impacting the outcomes and the lives of people associated with that category, that industry, or that kind of a job. Welcome, Preeti Singh Mundra.
Thank you so much, Prasun, for having me here. And I'm glad to be at Magicbricks office and, of course, addressing the amazing viewers through MBTV today. Thank you.
Wonderful, Preeti. Thank you very much for being here. I want to start with your journey. What you are doing today is, of course, very, very impactful, and you are in a very powerful position. How did you really arrive here? I mean, from the very beginning, you have had corporate life as well.
Yeah.
And then some point of time, you decided to leave that and get into, an association, an organization like NAREDCO. So how did it all happen for you?
The journey, I would like to say that journey is reward for me because rightly mentioned, I started at a very early age because I believe that I want to complete my education along with my what do you call experiential journey in my career, because I never wanted to waste that prime time of my early 20s. Usually what happens, by the time you finish your MBA, you are 23, 24, and then that's how you start as an
building.
executive,
Yes.
like as a fresher, then you
Yes.
finish the training part. So what I did during my college only, I had decided that my further studies are going to be along with my professional journey
Experience. Okay.
starting, so that by the time I finish my academics, I would also have a job experience in hand.
Okay.
So I always hated that tag of being called as a fresher for especially the first 2 years. So by the time I finished my academics, yeah. So by the time I completed my MBA, I was already holding a 3-year work experience. So started from the scratch, of course, but I started my journey from the exhibition industry only.
Okay.
And like I mentioned, started as an executive, and it's a journey when you start from the like a from the scratch, grassroots level, of course you know complete dimension how the system works, how the system grows, and how the different type of team work, and you build a synergy around it. So that's what had happened, and it's been wonderful that from executive to senior executive, then manager. But yes, my promotions took place really fast. I wanted to enjoy as an executive, as a trainee, but by the time I finished my 6 months, I was already a high roller in sales. So my manager promoted me as a senior executive, then a manager. Within the 8 months, I was already a manager, and by the time I completed my 2 years, I was the GM in the organization. And after completing, say, 3 years, I realized that there's a glass ceiling. I could only see up, but I can't go over there because I was working with a company which was running a branch office in Delhi, and head office was located in Mumbai.
Okay.
So to grow further, of course, it was expected out of me to shift to Mumbai, and since I stay here with my family, it was practically not possible for me. So I decided to break that ceiling and move on. So everything happened so fast, and I would say that I decided that I will flow like a river. I would not plan anything, to be really honest. So being everyone has a different tactic in their personality. My personality flows with the flow.
Okay.
And whatever I do, I want to enjoy the work before deciding how much money. So I've never decided on the basis of the pay package, the time, the additional benefits, the holidays. I only decided on the instinct. The first instinct, that how much experience and exposure I'm going to get. Being a fresher, and that's what I keep saying to my trainees, those who join me in NAREDCO for training, or newcomers I come across. Because nowadays when I see people saying no, the package is not good, I say that, boss, you have to understand one thing: the initial 5 years are your training centers. You should be thankful to the organization. They are giving you that risk to do anything and everything at their own cost, and they are paying you for all those experiments. So it's a win-win. But all my decisions have always revolved around what kind of experience and exposure I'm going to get as a person. And second, of course, travel. Because I'm really fond of travel. And I believe that I see things from a different lens altogether. Like I given you an example of a river. So I see it like a pond. Then you like a river. Then the next level is river. Then the ocean. So it is my choice that I want to be in the pond, I want to flow like a river, or eventually I want to merge into the ocean. That's how I've decided all my career choices.
Okay.
From starting from the exhibition industry, moving to a media house, working with an architectural magazine was an amazing experience for me. I worked with one of the top leading architects of India, Sir B.V. Doshi, Christopher Charles Vinegar, Fumihiko Maki. So it was wonderful. That was my first exposure with the real estate and building industry. Absolutely. And I was completely mesmerized. I said, wow. And as we say, roti, kapda and makan, these are the basic necessities. And I said, wow, this is such a wonderful industry. Catering, everything eventually comes down to real estate only.
Right.
Whether we talk about education, the institutions, hospitals, hospitality,
You need infrastructure for everything.
everything,
Yes.
absolutely. So this somehow had a very impressive, hard impact on my complete ambition and proposition, how I wanted to shape my career.
Okay.
So I decided that I will stick to this industry, and then there was, like you rightly mentioned, there was a time when I was struggling with my career choices, and I said, okay, I'm traveling almost 20 days in a month, but my health started getting affected because of acute pressures of course, being in sales and marketing is never easy. It comes on its own price. I took a break. It was not quitting, it was taking a pause. So I firmly believe that pause is very important. So I decided that I won't quit. but I will take a pause, I'll take a rest, and then I'll plan the next inning of my career. And that's how NAREDCO came into the picture. And of course, it's been more than a decade.
Right, and move forward. Wonderful. So, and then you came into NAREDCO, and which was a very, it was slightly different kind of a setup and very, very different kind of profile. Uh, was it difficult to transit because you were used to the pressures, the sales and marketing, razzmatazz of day-to-day work and everything that is happening, and here you come in an organization where responsibility is a little more strategic, responsibility is a little more partnership driven, it's more about overall industry category and not really about one particular business number. Very, very different transition. Was it difficult to transit?
To be really honest, it was not difficult for me, it was fun. Because I'm a student for life. I love to learn new things. I love to become the best version of my own identity. I love to explore my own potential. I realize that I worked with best of the architects. Now is a time and opportunity for me from river to get merged into the ocean. For me, started from the pond. Then a river. Now it's a time for ocean. So it was an opportunity for me, and I decided to take it up with open arms. And of course, I learned quite a lot because at NAREDCO, I started working on policy, advocacy, Government of India's esteemed dignitaries on a regular basis, and it's a huge responsibility. And like I said, when you actually enjoy your work, and when you realize that what kind of contribution you are giving back to the society, and what kind of responsibility you hold for the other fellows also, and then you realize that you are not actually working for your own self, you are working for the holistic development of the sector. And you are the special one, the chosen one. This opportunity is not given to many, and better if you have this opportunity and responsibility, deliver your best.
That's so nicely put, the chosen one, right? And it's such a nice career advice.
And like I mentioned, when you have your mind open like an umbrella, everything is a rainbow. You will see beautiful colors. But if you see things in dark shades, then no one can help you. So it's your mindset, how much you are ready to take up the challenges. Because when this responsible position was offered to me, I was, to be really honest, so scared. I thought to myself, maybe I'm not ready. But my leaders told me that you can't doubt our choice. So then I realized, okay, is it so? So that kind of trust and faith, when people put on you, then you hold that responsibility.
It's also so important to have those kind of mentors in our lives.
100%.
For us, they help us realize what all is possible to achieve
100%.
at the end of the day. So you have been with NAREDCO for about 11 years now. Right? And you have also seen the periods of the COVID, the RERA before that and everything else. A lot of disruptions, right? And a lot of it for betterment of the industry at the end of the day. How did you see industry therefore evolving with all such challenges that happened over the years?
Like I had mentioned, the roti, kapda and makan being the basic necessity, everything revolves around this particular sector. And initially, the real estate sector, maybe if we see 20 years ago and now after the implementation of RERA, and we surviving all those economic crunches, including the COVID times, still the sector is on boom. Still you see the property raise, still you see that growth in the market and a lot of opportunity. Wherein starting a career or choosing real estate as a career option 20 years ago may look like a very dull choice. Today it's a lucrative choice.
It is the most happening industry.
It's the most happening industry. And for very renowned universities and institutions have approached NAREDCO to start the real estate courses. Full-fledged degree programs in collaboration with NAREDCO. That shows that there is a demand in the market for an exclusive degree program in the real estate.
In the future growth and potential of the industry.
Absolutely. So that shows the growth part of the sector. So I personally believe that no matter how many challenges we face as an economy or see, after Corona, we all have realized one thing, that we have no control on the act of God. I
Right.
would call it act of God, though COVID was never an act of God. But let's call it that
Yeah.
way, that it was a natural
But such
calamity.
external factors, of course, you cannot control.
Absolutely. And then you have like completely no control on many things when it comes to international and national
Yes.
big decisions. But then eventually, when it comes down on the macro and micro level, it affects from the bottom to the top everyone.
Correct.
For that example, like it would affect a rickshawala to the most richest person living in that city.
Correct.
But having said that, eventually the market grew further. We've seen an amazing shift and rise in the prices of the properties. I'd like to give you a beautiful example. Like you have your wonderful studio in Noida. You've seen the Noida market in last 10 years. Look at the property prices.
Yes.
The rentals have increased, and whosoever have invested and bought the property here maybe 20 years ago must be minting a lot of
Returns, they were getting a lot of returns. Correct.
returns. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So 100% growth is always going to be there. But if you are looking at short-term returns from real estate, then this game, I think, is not for you. Real estate is a
It has
long-term
always
game.
been a medium to long-term
Absolutely.
category. So NAREDCO, under the aegis of ministry, has been the premier body and organization, for everything associated with real estate development and within the category itself, and it's the direct interface between government and industry to a large extent, right? Uh, what does it really mean? If you can let our viewers know a bit about NAREDCO and how NAREDCO is helping shape up the industry, which impacts the buyers at the end of the day, and what kind of policies, processes therefore come into the industry practice. If you can just let us know a bit more about that.
We play a major role in educating builder, developers, consultant, building material suppliers about the real estate growth and of course the new opportunities coming in. We play a very important platform role when it comes to building up relationship, interconnecting with the fellow business entrepreneurs and networking. So we also play a vital role in conducting programs such as focused on green building and sustainability. We support Government of India in organizing their initiatives, or we get basically the guidance from Ministry Housing also to pick up the subjects and organize 2 days conference and seminars. Like a couple of months ago, we organized Urban Development Conclave, where we completely focused on discussing the implementation of RERA, the success ratio, and the way forward in the real estate sector. So NAREDCO plays a vital role to contribute back in the growth of the real estate sector in a holistic way under the guidance and guidelines of Ministry Housing and Urban Affairs. And in the state chapters also, the state chapters are governed by under the chief minister of the respective state, who joins as a chief patron.
Okay. I mean, before I move to further knowing further about NAREDCO, I wanted to digress a little bit.
Sure.
You are one of the few female leaders, women leaders in real estate. Who's holding a position of power, who's impacting how things are done in real estate. First of all, tell me how difficult it is because you have mostly male-centric, kind of audiences around, and in a boardroom filled with men around, and being, one of the few women representing the industry. What does it really mean to you?
It was something given to me on the basis of my potential or caliber.
Absolutely.
Wherein I was routing
You're
myself.
not in the industry in that sense, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So sometimes you actually realize that you have certain degree of qualification which you yourself was not aware. So there are 3 things which I realized that I'm really good at. One, disaster management, because when you work on a high profile position, of course you would never know
Crisis
that
management is important. Yes.
that's very important. So you would never know that what crisis would happen at what time, and then there's certain things happening around you. You'll have to
Correct.
make a healthy balance.
Correct.
So eventually, the crisis management, handling everything so disaster doesn't take place, then balancing it all. When you're working with people, you have to become a people's person. It cannot be I, me, myself anymore. It cannot be just about your own growth.
Thoughts or your own
And
beliefs.
of course, being working in association, you have to take people along.
Correct. So, Preeti, on the back of what you said as a women leader in real estate, I want to talk a little bit about NAREDCO Mahi,
Sure.
which is all about women leaders within real estate. What is happening there? How does NAREDCO Mahi play a role in terms of also shaping up or bringing a lot of women into the industry and, helping having better policies so that women feels safe and secure in the industry?
All soft skills, the soft part of the real estate comes to the women wing of NAREDCO.
Okay.
The inception and the birth story of women wing is such that we we were in a meeting with the former Secretary Housing, Sri Durga Shankar Mishra's office, with the NAREDCO President Chairman, and he just asked a question that why I only see one girl with the complete delegation all the time, why there are not other women, and he also asked a question that I feel that there are a significant number of women folks working in the sector. So instead of answering, I asked a question back that you never asked us to form a women wing, wherein every other association have a women wing. And of course, it was a direction given by the housing ministry for us to have the expansion of women wing, youth wing, and other, relevant futuristic wings to get started. And that's how we started inviting the women leaders, those who are contributing to the sector in a big way. And it's a beautiful initiative because here we have, of course, the next generation of women developers. And we have top architect designers also joined us. We have CEOs of the organization, like I being an ADG of NAREDCO, also a women leader contributing to the sector.
Right.
Heading such a prestigious association like NAREDCO. And we decided that, of course, the main national body and leaders, they are already working on the bigger umbrella. Policy, advocacy, real estate, legal issues, addressing the problems to the government. So, of course, they are already working on the bigger horizon, but let us pursue all the soft part. So we started working on Nirmal Jal Prayas, which caters, of course, to the water conservation. We started working on Shaswat Nirman, that is working towards green building and sustainability. The third initiative is skilling in the construction field, because you must have seen the construction side. The women workers, they have their 6-month-old or a 1-year-old, they tie their kids at the construction site, and they're working. So we started working on all the soft side, the finance part, and it came out so beautifully. And we started with just 15 members. Today, we complete 4 years at NAREDCO Mahi, and we are more than 250. When a woman supports a woman, magic happens.
Okay, and as ADG of NAREDCO, as it is, it's such a demanding job, and you would remain preoccupied, one would assume, but you have also taken steps to build something even more powerful, which is Sattva Nation, which is in the area of holistic wellness, right? Tell us a bit about that, and also its genesis. Where did it come from?
All right. So Sattva Nation happens to me not by choice. It was actually the circumstances. There was I was going through a difficult phase. I lost my dad, and I was it was during Corona time, and I was thinking to myself that what matters the most. And all of us, not only in India, of course, the all of us basically on this earth, including not only human beings, I'm sure even the animals, the birds, everyone must be facing a difficult phase during that time. No, the animals and birds must have enjoyed. Only human being had the difficult time.
Yeah.
Because we
All
were
the-
caged in our respective house.
Yes, and they had the earth to them.
So I started questioning my own, thinking and belief system when it comes to wellness. And then I realized that wellness is not at all about how I see myself as a physically fit body. And I realize it is something to do with what I'm feeling inside, my feelings, emotion, what kind of people I enjoy interacting with, what kind of books I'm reading. Am I giving an appropriate time to nurture my hobby of dance, reading, paint, and all of it? And then that's how Sattva Nation came in the picture. And at Sattva Nation, we believe that the holistic wellness is basically 8 dimension, which starts with, of course, your physical body. Because also I realized, we may say that I stay in so and so makan number, so and so gali, so and so mohalla, but eventually you stay in this body.
Correct.
This body is your real estate. Okay.
Correct.
You may live in maybe a big bungalow or a mansion.
Correct.
But if you are not physically
your natural
fit,
real estate is this only.
your natural, you'll have to live in this body till your last breath.
Yeah.
So better look after this real estate first and then invest. So all this wisdom comes to me when I started reading the inspiration figures. I started with J.R.D. Tata because, of course, coming from an economic background, I have always been influenced by very inspirational figures. But that was the time where I decided that I want to read more about the spiritual leaders. And I started reading about Swami Vivekananda.
Okay.
And more I started reading, more I realized that our Vedic ancient science, or maybe our in Indian culture, it is being taught to us. It's just that we're so ignorant to everything which is given to us on a platter. So we have to go back to the basic foundation. So going back to the basic was my inner calling.
Okay.
And that's how Sattva was born. So physical wellness, then emotional and mental wellness came into the picture.
Very important.
Very, very important.
Yes.
Followed by social wellness.
Yes.
We human beings are social animals.
Something which is the call of the time.
100%.
We are all losing our social connect.
And Prasun, the intellectual wellness, like I mentioned, you may be having 10 degrees, I have 5, and we all are well educated people, but at the same time, we want to interact with someone who match the frequency.
Correct.
Otherwise, you want to save your energy. That comes the intellectual wellness, followed by your occupational wellness. My workplace is a place where I invest or spend maximum time. I personally feel that time is the most expensive gift you can give to somebody. 60% of my productive day is spent at my workplace. If I'm not enjoying what I'm doing, then I would actually get more stressed. I would start getting into a very silent kind of a trauma. It is scientifically proved. There is a book called Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza, which is also supported by a lot of theses and research. That, of course, you may say that you may say that you don't drink, you don't smoke, you may be a vegetarian, you practice meditation every day, but if you are in a toxic environment, and toxic doesn't mean that you are in a populated air or you are breathing basically toxic air. No. Toxic environment means if you're surrounded with people who you don't like to work with, if you are surrounded with lot of traumatized deadlines, if you've been given lot of stress at your work profile, it will eventually, and you keep continuing under this tremendous stress on a regular basis to match those deadlines, not paying that attention to your feelings, emotions and mind. it will convert into a long-term disease. So when I say occupational wellness, be very careful when you start your career. Of course, you have to give that best extra mile to be given to learn more things. But then after a certain time, it's very important to create a healthy balance, because once you get married, for an example, and this is applicable to both the genders, it's not only for female. Of course, female multitask a lot, and she has to give back more because her instinct is naturally to nurture. But it is also applicable to men, because you have to create a healthy balance. And then you realize that you're not been able to give that precious time to your own kids. You know, in the race of earning money, adding more zeros in your bank account, you are losing the most precious time where you wanted to actually enjoy those memories. Because those, see, you only enjoy, let's say if I ask you a question that, Prasun, take a break. So where would you like to go? In the lap of Mother Nature?
Absolutely.
I'm sure you would not say, "Yaar, I want to take a break. I want to go to a board meeting. I want to give a presentation. I want to interview more people." Of course, you would say that I want to go to seaside,
Absolutely.
mountains.
Yes.
That means your inner instinct is going back to the basics.
Correct.
Correct?
Yes.
So in that case, if you cannot change your job, you have the power at least to control on your own emotions. You can create a aura wherein you will not soak in all that energy. That's occupational wellness. I'm not saying, boss, if you are basically earning bread and butter for your family, you don't have that choice to just give your, throw away that job and say, okay, bye, I don't like your face and I'm not working with you. No. What I'm simply saying is occupational wellness starts with you. You choose it, you practice it. It's not somebody else is choosing and deciding for you. It's you who can
You do
choose.
the right thing, you do the positive thing, things around you will change.
See, you can never change the people around you.
Right.
You can never change your team around you. You don't build, if you are at an early stage of your career, you're not choosing the people. And of course, when you work with people, you have no control, because we're human beings. We're built of emotions, vibrations, feelings.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm having a bad day in my family, but I have to show my best energy at my workplace. So you are in the business of faking all the time.
Right.
And of course, if I have to fake it till I make it. That's what Richard Branson also said in his book.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to say, occupational wellness is something which is a skill, which can be taught, which can be learned, and which is so easy to understand. It's a simple funda for maybe from a driver to a CEO, that you can't change people. What you can change is how you react and respond to the situation, how much negative energy you're basically observing in your own self. That's occupational wellness. It's as simple as that. Everyone for that matter on this planet have 24 hours. It's not that only I am blessed with 30 hours and you've been only given 12 hours. It's my choice how I want to spend this 24 hours. So the day we realize occupational wellness will take place, and the followed wellness pillars also will take place, like financial wellness. I personally believe the occupational wellness and financial wellness is a part of the same coin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, two sides of the same coin, basically.
Yeah, two sides of the same coin. So when you do something what you enjoy the most, and you have that sense of satisfaction, it again comes down to the perception of success.
So that's wonderful. And so coming back to real estate now, NAREDCO from here on, next 5 years, how do you see this real estate from now? It's of course doing very well. Premium luxury segment is doing really, really well. How do you see that shaping up over next 5 to 10 years? What is your bird eye view over there?
The kind of massive construction coming up, the hospitality sector is at boom.
Yeah.
And seeing changes, Gurgaon, what it was 20 years back and what it is today.
Right.
Even Noida for that matter, and that skyline buildings coming up, all best of the facilities. The sector is going to boom 100%, and it has changed beautifully. And like I said, in coming times, I think, but eventually you realize that when you add more angle of environment to it, like concept like wellness housing, it's such a beautiful concept.
Correct.
Concept like senior living,
Yes.
which never existed.
Yes.
If we talk about
Today
10,
it's one of the
15
fastest
years
growing
back,
segments,
it's a
actually.
fastest growing. I am planning my old age, and I've already started planning shifting to a senior living after I hit 60. What I'm trying to say is such beautiful concepts were not there, but as per the time, changing time, the cultural, what should I say, expansion, and the most beautiful thing about time is that it's never the same. And that's what is said in Gita also, that one has to adapt to the change, and change is the only constant thing. So the best part, how beautifully real estate have changed and introduced the concept of wellness housing, pure air, more greenery, and of course this came into the picture after Corona times,
Right.
wherein we realize it's so important for us to have that clean air.
Correct.
And then senior living concepts for that matter is also at boom, and the tier 2 and tier 3 cities for that matter is growing at a fast pace. The smart cities coming up and new transition promoting more energy efficient buildings, more sustainable practices. All that transition was not there. And above all, we all are so much interested in contributing and living up to such cities, and that acceptance is also there.
Between now and your senior housing shift, there's a lot of time left. Where does Preeti Singh Mundra see herself?
I see myself actually becoming the best version of my own identity, because I'm still exploring myself.
Okay.
I feel that, of course, my younger self, the Preeti in her 20s, Preeti in her 30s, and Preeti in her 40s, is completely, I won't say a new person, but become a better version. So I want to keep updating my, what do you call, app, and I want to software to become a better version of myself, and I want to reach out to my best possible potential.
Oh,
that's how I see
that's
myself.
wonderful. On that wonderful note,
you.
Preeti, thank you very much for joining
Thank
us.
you so much
It
for
was such a
having me.
candid
Thank you.
conversation. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.